started out with water, but now you're drowning. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying to be like you, but I don't wanna be like you. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying to be like you, but I don't wanna be like you. Cause I could do better. I could do better. I could do better than that. And you should know better. You should know better. You should know better than that. You're telling me I should go places. You're telling me that I'm too lazy. You are the one that is going crazy. Yeah. Cause you can't even hold your own, but you always know what's wrong with everyone else. How is that? You gonna have to call your friends, tell them that you're gonna be late, cause I'ma need you to explain. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying to be like you, but I don't wanna be like.
Hey, whoa, hey. Hey, it's your girl, Erica Olsen-Buck, and welcome back to Through the Fire podcast. I am not going to stick around and wait for a bunch of people to jump on. We are going to get started, and we are here for 30 minutes each and every Sunday at 8 p.m. If you're here, thank you for being here. If it's your first time, welcome. We talk about all things love, life, and loss. Life? I fuck that up every time. I mess that up every time. We talk about all things life, love, and loss. Tonight, what are we talking about? Getting unstuck. Right? Can I see that on screen? If I see it on the screen under me, it's bigger. If you put it in the chat, it's tiny. And I'm old, fat, and blind. We'll talk about that later. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad to be here. I'll catch up on my week, and then we'll talk about getting unstuck. Because for a lot of people, just because the new year chimes in, it is January 1st, it is a new year. We are making resolutions. We are manifesting. We are becoming the best version of ourselves, and all of the other niche cliche things that are being all over the internet all the time when a new year comes in. Just because those things are happening around you and we're reading about it and we see it on social media and people are making all these proclamations doesn't mean that you too have jumped up and made all of these changes and you're going to the gym and you're saving money and you're finding the love of your life and you're getting a promotion at work and you're getting toxic people out of your life and you're doing all these things because that's what everybody else is talking about. Just because that is what's being said around you doesn't mean that you've actually joined the bandwagon and have gotten the kick in the butt that you need to be able to start. So maybe you're still stuck. And that's A-okay, because I get stuck and sometimes I stay stuck. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, getting unstuck and manifesting better moves in 2025. I'm going to get it together. So anyway, my week. We were just talking before the show started about me and school. So every Saturday, I am at Lincoln University again, obtaining another degree. This is my MBA in finance at Lincoln in Philadelphia. And just like I just talked about, seeing the noise around you and buying into it, that is how I ended up in school. You remember during COVID, people were posting shit like, if you are in this pandemic and stuck in the house and you aren't setting new goals and you aren't learning a new language, or like we're supposed to be doing all this stuff while we were stuck in the house. I collected 2,000 plants. Like we all did a whole bunch of things during the pandemic. And I am not foreign to it. So I saw all of the stuff that you saw. Oh, we're locked down, learn a new language, get a new hobby, learn some new things, undo some old things. Like there was all this stuff that we were supposed to do while we're locked in. And one of the things that was suggested was go back to school and get that degree. So I did that. Sitting in my kitchen, I went back to school, got the degree, and then I registered for school. and did human services because I've been in human services by accident, and I wanted a degree to support my work. So I went to Lincoln University for a degree in human services, and Lincoln University is in Philadelphia. And that's all fine and dandy when you're sitting in your kitchen taking classes. But then the world opened up and it was like, oh, I've got to go to Philadelphia. And during that program, it was every other Saturday. So I'd be in Philadelphia on Saturday, one Saturday, and then asynchronous on the internet the following week, alternating. And I managed, did it, graduated. You all saw that, did that, got a degree in human services. And then was so nice, did it twice. And I just got finished telling my producer before the show started, like, none of my real friends talked me out of this. Like, when I said my old ass was going back to school again, and this time to get an MBA in finance, when I'm still trying to figure out why I go to sleep with $200 and wake up negative 116. I can't manage my own finances. And now I'm in this class, in this program, not this class, in this program. And you saw my battle with statistics last semester. So I was very excited this semester. My classes were organizational behaviors and advanced finance management. Advanced accounting and finance management and organizational behaviors. Do you know my organizational behaviors class is a statistics class that's dressed up to trick me? So I'm back in statistics again. We want you to become a certified college professor. You know what? Thank you so much for that, because I really think that I will do an adjunct professor somewhere when I'm done with all this stuff. So my end goal is to teach and speak. That's all I want to do. I want to get paid to speak and teach. So thank you for that. Anyway, my program this time, this MBA program is every Saturday in Philadelphia from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I leave my house at 7 o'clock in the morning and I don't get back until 9. And every Saturday while I'm in this class, drowning, I say, whose idea was this? Like, who thought this was a good idea? But back to our subject and why this is important for me today, because we're talking about getting unstuck. And what being committed to my schooling does every week is pushes me. It pushes me to keep going, to keep achieving a goal. So one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is like, we just can't think about our goals. We just can't talk about them. Just can't post them on social media. We've got to write them down. You got to write the vision and make it plain. We've heard this all our lives growing up. For those of us who grew up in church, write the vision, make it plain, but it works because things make more sense to us and we are held accountable by things that we can go back and look at. So if with all these resolutions and the new year coming in and people around you doing all of these seems like spectacular things, I've seen so many people talking about all of the huge, grandiose, wonderful things that they're doing because the new year has come in. They've ended toxic relationships. They stopped negative self-talk. They're not procrastinating. They're on these diets. Everybody's at the gym. Everybody is an entrepreneur. That's the one that kills me. Everyone has to be an entrepreneur. If everyone is a business owner, who the hell's doing the work? So maybe there's some things that we need to unthink, that being an entrepreneur is the epitome of success. Who said that? Who said that? Nearly every day for the past week or so, I've had a conversation with someone who is continuously talking about businesses and streams of income and businesses and owning this and owning that and doing this. And this may seem hypocritical because I do essentially, I do work for myself. I'm a consultant, so I'm not on anybody's W-2. I'm not punching a clock every day. I've got clients that I work with, work for, but I work for myself. However, in a very regimented, go to work every day kind of way. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a person that believes that entrepreneurship is the epitome of success. I believe that if you have something that you're passionate about, that you can go to and do every day in a way that feeds your spirit, feeds your soul, and helps other people. You got a comment up there. That's success. So talking the talk and truly walking the walk ain't the same thing, is it? Absolutely not. So moving into 2025, it wasn't about me setting all of these new goals at 20, 30, 50 new things that I wanted to do. For me, it was just some of the things that I was doing, I just needed to do differently. I didn't need to recreate the wheel. I said last week that 2024 was actually a pretty good year for me, both personally and professionally. I minimized my negative self-talk because that was the epitome. So can you put up number one? What held you back in 2024? Thank you. So moving into 2025 and getting unstuck, sometimes you got to go back to move forward. So you have to take a honest self-appraisal. You have to have a deep dive conversation with yourself about why you are still where you are and what's been stopping you. And 9 times out of 10, what's been stopping you is you, Erica. There is nobody with their foot on our neck holding us back. It's procrastination, negative self-talk, and fear. Procrastination. How many goals have you set that you're going to start on Monday? I have a goal that I want to start. Now listen to this. A goal that I'm very passionate about, because most of the things that I'm doing in 2025 are around my finances. I want to be a better steward over what God has given me, right? I know that I am blessed beyond measure. Like when I was hopeless and homeless and hungry, the life I dreamed of was just a life that put a roof over my head, put food in my belly, and kept me warm. Like all of this is nothing that I could have imagined in a million years. I still wake up every day and say, wow, I'm still like filled with gratitude from a deep place, because I know that I am blessed, because I literally didn't dream this big. There's a saying that if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. I wasn't even capable of dreaming as big as my real life is right now. So a part of moving forward is the first thing that we have to do is step back and look back at what was stopping you in 2024. So again, negative self-talk, talking yourself out of your great ideas. How many times have you had a great idea, didn't share with anyone, great idea, you hold to yourself and you talk yourself out of doing it? So negative self-talk, fear of the unknown, fear of judgment, fear of failing, and bigger than all of those is a fear of success. When you've never done these things before and you're absolutely fearful, like what is my life going to look like if this really works? Who's in my life if it really changes to the capacity that I'm dreaming that it will? And it's bigger than dreaming now, because back to what we talked about before, we're writing this down. So if this is a vision for your life and you've written it out step by step, and you don't have to share any of those steps with anyone. You're going to write those steps down for yourself. What is it going to take for you to move into 2025 and do the things that you've wanted to do since 2015? If we're honest with ourselves, there's so many things that we've been saying that we're going to do for 10 years that we haven't done. So we got to stop talking ourselves out of things. We have to have more faith than we do fear. And I'm a person that believes that faith and fear can live in the same house. I am absolutely faithful that this fear is real. I believe in God. I have a very intimate personal relationship with God, but I'm also human. And in my humanness, I am afraid most of the time, like what's going to happen to me if this works? What is my life going to look like if this works? What is my friend circle going to look like if this works? Like, will people still like me if this works? Will people still want to be around me if this works? And for those of us that have the spirit of people pleasing and are continuously doing things for the edification of other people, we're first in line to help somebody else fulfill their dream. We're first in line to fill somebody else up. When they're down, we're the first in line to pull them up. When someone's sick, we're the first in line to go and show up for them. But are we ever showing up for ourselves the same way that we show up for other people? That's number one. We got to go back to last year to find out what was stopping us from moving forward the year before, and the year before, because all we're talking about is not being stuck. We're going to move on to number two. Number two, the vision. Make it real. Set goals that speak to your soul. Again, it's not about earth-shattering, big, miraculous, earth-changing, groundbreaking goals. It needs to be a goal that speaks to your soul. Like, what is it that you want to do that you've always wanted to do? I learned a lesson about passion and purpose like 15 years ago. Like, your purpose is the thing that keeps you up at night. It's the thing that you would do if no one ever paid you to do it. It's the thing that's on your mind, the first thing that you wake up. So what is the goals? What is the goal that speaks to your soul? What is that thing that's been tugging at you that you absolutely have to do? Because we've all heard this before, that we were all created to answer a problem. Like each and every one of us is a solution to a problem. Like, what is the problem that you were born to solve? Like, what is the gap that you were born to fill? What is that thing that only you can do? And again, that doesn't have to be entrepreneurship. That could be something that you do within an organization, within a company, within a nonprofit, at a church. Like, what is that thing that you can do that no one else can do the way that you do it? So we're setting goals to speak to our soul. And when we're doing this, it's not just about setting a goal, I want to lose 10 pounds. The goal that speaks to your soul is, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? I want to lose 10 pounds to feel better about myself. So eliminate that I want to lose 10 pounds. The goal is feeling better about myself. And then you think about the things that are going to align with you feeling better about yourself. So if it's losing weight, it's changing my relationship with money, it's leaving toxic relationships, it's making decisions, not procrastinating, doing what you say you're going to do, it's integrity, doing the right thing when no one else is watching. Whatever that small goal is, it is the goal that speaks to your soul. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It just needs to be the thing that allows you to sleep peacefully at night. So we want to lose weight. We want to make more money. We want love. We want financial freedom. We want to travel. So for me, in my money management goal, it wasn't just about me saving more money. I needed to undo some of my bad spending habits. I need to not go to places that I've gone to and spent money ridiculously. I need to think about the way that I am spending my money and the things that I have to show for it. So my goal around saving money wasn't actually about saving money. My goal was to travel more. So in order for me to travel more, I need to have the money to do it. And in order to have the money to do it, I need to not spend money the way that I've been spending it. So now I have the ability to look at my money, set a destination, plan for it. And even so I just got back from Spain, right? My daughter found out that she was going to Spain to study abroad. We saw that the date was on my birthday. I was like, I'm going. Like, I don't know how you roll, but I didn't have $6,000 just sitting around waiting to go to Spain. I've got a whole lot of responsibilities. I've got a lot of things to do. But what that looked like was me not doing some of the things that I usually do with my money. In order for me to have $6,000 to pay for Kiri to go, airfare, flights, hotels, and all spending, and all the things that I needed to do, I needed to not do things that I was doing before, things that I was doing in 2023, things that I was doing in 2022, things that I was doing in 2021. So I'm just now, as a result of looking back, I'm just now being able to move forward and do things differently because I'm looking at my goal in a different way. It's not just about saving money. It's about spending my money differently. So you're saying that it's good to set goals that appease you first and not trying to appease them? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think all goals should be to appease ourselves. And so in that instance, maybe one of the goals is to not do things to please other people. Like maybe what that's the goal that speaks to your soul looks like being selfish. When I'm selfish, I'm only worried about how a thing impacts me. And sometimes the healthiest thing that we can do is to be selfish with our time, our money, and our energy and emotions. Like being selfish with those things will allow you to not people please and set goals that are pleasing to you. I think a person is better off setting goals to feel better about themselves, and then whatever you must achieve to get the feeling is good. Absolutely, try to reach. Again, so if you are making goals and doing things to please other people, maybe the goal that speaks to your soul is to do things for me. That's the goal. I want to do more things just for me. And that speaks to me because that's one of the reasons why I stopped posting so much. I go through 24, 48 hours and I'm looking up and go, wow, I haven't posted anything on social media. And as a result of that, I am living my best freaking life. I am eating meals without taking pictures of them. And guess what? They taste just as good. I'm going places. I'm doing things. I am being present. I am in the moment. I am having conversations with people. I am doing things and living my life without being pleasing to other people or not for a like or a comment. And I'm looking up and I haven't posted in days. So this is self-care. Self-care vibe made legitimate. Absolutely. Where are we? Are we number 3? How far am I? What time is it? Oh, I see. I got 8 minutes. Okay. Big old timer in my face for people that just saw me with that realization. Big old timer in my face. Find your tribe and stay connected. This is so important. So 1, we're looking back to find out what has held us back. 2, we're setting goals to speak to our soul. And 3, we're finding our tribe and staying connected. So 2 years ago, I started the work to build a new tribe. I created a little Facebook group, and I wanted like-minded women women who were either single or in a relationship. That didn't matter. But you wanted to have healthy relationships romantically and platonically. There were women that wanted a sister circle. There were women that wanted accountability. There were women that were setting goals and crushing them. There were women that were procrastinating and wanted to stop. So like-minded women, and if you're a man watching, I'm sorry. You want to find a tribe of people that are going the places that you want to go and doing the things that you want to do. They're going the places that you want to go and doing the things that you want to do. They're doing more than you are. They've gone more places than you've been. They've saved more money than you had. They spent more money than you spent. They've done things that you've never done because that's going to push you. I was at Bedside Baptist this morning, and I watched Jamal Bryant for this morning. And he spoke to something that we've all heard. Well, I've heard it before, but today it just resonated with me. If you are surrounded by 4 broke people, you're the 5th broke person. Find your tribe and stay connected. I don't want to be around 4 broke people because I certainly don't want to be the 5th broke person. I want to surround myself with people that want to do more, people that have done more. I'm planning for my article for the Afro, my relationship column article, Single in the City, shameless plug. I'm preparing for my Single in the City column for February, and it's Matters of the Heart. And in this, I'm speaking to married couples at different years in marriage and asking them to share tips on navigating tough times and the secret to staying in your relationship. And I think this is important for both married and single people. So some of the people I reached out to, Mayor Brandon Scott, who's newly married. So I wanted new married. Adam Jackson from Leaders of Beautiful Struggle is newly married. I reached out to Dana Moore, Dr. K. I reached out to my friends' parents. I reached out to my friend Tabitha and her husband, Rochelle. So some personal relationships that I have. I reached out to these couples to share their tips and their strategies for navigating tough times in marriage and the secret to staying together. Because I think that will help both married, dating, and single people. Because I was trying to think of what I wanted to do for February for my column. And that's back to surrounding yourself with people who've done things that you've never done. I've never not been married that ended in divorce. Like, I don't know what 30 years of marriage looks like. I don't know what a long-term relationship of 10 years looks like. So you go to people who've done these things. So you're finding your tribe, and the tribe is going to be people that you can find some sort of mentorship in because they've done things that you haven't done. How do you build trust while finding your tribe? It's a faith walk. This is a faith walk. At first glance, you're building a tribe based on what you see. You base it on what you see. You see someone who, if entrepreneurship is your thing, you find someone who's been in business for themselves for a long period of time, more than 5 years, because most small businesses crash within that first 5 years. If someone has navigated small business beyond 5 years, and not someone with a small business and a 9 to 5, that's not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is someone who has given up the security of having a job, is giving up the 9 to 5. They don't have that guaranteed paycheck. An entrepreneur is someone that if they don't fish, they don't eat. So you're going to find someone who is navigating that space, someone who is eating very well as a result of the fishing that they're doing on their own. So that is your tribe if you want to be a business person. You are looking for people who have been in long-term relationships. And we're not looking for perfect relationships because there is no such thing. We're looking for people who have navigated the space of relationships for a significant amount of time because they've had ups and downs. They've had good times and bad times. They've been able to get through hardship, loneliness, detachment, attachment, and relationships, and have advice to give you. So these are the things. If you want to go back to school, you find the person that has the PhD. You find the person that has the master's degree. If all you've done, and not all you've done to minimize it, but if you're someone who has a GED, you are finding the person that has the bachelor's degree. That you're finding the person that went back to school at 50 years old and decided they're going to get a degree. If you are 60 years old and you want to go back to school, I would suggest you go talk to Kiri. There's a very different life of a 21-year-old navigating school full-time versus someone who works full-time, has a relationship, and does every other thing that we do in this grown-up world and goes back to school. That's a very different beast. So in finding your tribe and staying connected, you're doing it with people that are doing the things that you aspire to do. And on the faith thing, at first glance, it's only about what you see, but ultimately as relationships develop, that's when you decide if this is a person that's going to be in your tribe or not. Because everything that glitter ain't gold. So at first, when you're building your tribe, you're basing this on what you see, the attributes that you believe this person has. As a relationship develops and you start to uncover things about people, that's how you build your trust. When you are able to share intimate, vulnerable experiences with someone, and it's a safe space, and they can do the same with you. And intimate and vulnerable in business means how do I get these bills paid? Like how do I keep these lights on? What I dated a multimillionaire once. I'm gonna say this in closing. and I was working for myself, and it was during the first recession. I was working for myself, and it took a long time for the recession to hit me. Like, I saw people losing their jobs. I saw people shutting down their businesses. The first recession, when people were stopped traveling and stopped shopping, and the world was changing financially, and I was still in business for myself. I had a corner office on Hartford and Hamilton. I was a public relations agency working for myself, and had been in this space, making good money, had celebrity clients, had a Rolodex to die for, and the recession took its time to trickle down to me. And then suddenly businesses were having to make the decision between needs and wants. And when it comes down to needs and wants, most companies will cut out public relations because they believe that public relations and marketing is a want and not a need. So it trickled down to me, and I found myself losing clients, and I had less money, dating a multimillionaire, asked him to help me pay my mortgage. And he said, no. He said, no. He said to me, if you had a 9 to 5 and needed me to help you pay a bill, I would say yes immediately. But because you call yourself an entrepreneur and you're in business for yourself and you can't pay your bills, your business isn't a business, it's a hobby. I was flatlined. This is my man with millions of dollars telling me no, he wasn't going to help me with the bill because I was an entrepreneur and I wasn't able to pay my bills. He said to me he had to go back to work 7 times. He had to stop working for himself and go back to work 7 times because his business wasn't paying his bills. He says, you need to get a job. It was the best advice I was ever given. That is how I ended up at the radio station. I went to the radio station, and trust and believe, I went to the radio station. After the radio station, I worked for Pendor, and I have not worked for anybody else since. My business has paid my bills. And that is, again, about your tribe and your connection and the people that you stay connected to. Had I shared that information with my broke girlfriends, they would have been like, what? He's not helping you pay your bills? What kind of man is that? And this, that, and the other. That man gave me the best advice I've ever received in my life. So that's it. We can go back to number 1. So we got a little bit of homework. Go back to 2024. You might have to go back to 2023. You might have to go back to 2022. You might have to go back to 2012. And the things that you have been saying that you're going to do, you still haven't done, go back and find out what's been holding you back. What's been holding you back? And the biggest culprits are negative self-talk, fear of the unknown, fear of failing, and fear of success, and toxic relationships. And toxic relationships don't always mean intimate partner relationships. Toxic relationships sometimes are your toxic ass friends, and sometimes your toxic ass family members. Go back to 2024 and the years before, find out what's been holding you back. Write it out. It has been my procrastination. It has been toxic relationships. It has been negative self-talk. And I want you to block it out. I took a black Sharpie marker and I wrote a line through each of the things that was holding me back because I never want to revisit it again. I want them gone. I want them removed from my life, so I removed them from the paper because sometimes going back to see things is just a reminder or maybe even sometimes keep you stuck. So I blacked them out. And negative self-talk, I'm over that part. That was killing me for years. I'm so over that. Next is number 2, set goals to speak to your soul. Don't just set the goal to lose weight. Set the goal to feel better. Don't just set the goal to save money. Set the goal to travel. Don't just set the goal to get in a relationship. Set the goal to have peace and harmony in your life. So it's set the goal that speaks to your soul. So and write it. So the goals need to be written and they need to speak to your soul. And what we've talked about tonight was the goals need to be for you and not for other people. Finally, number 3, find your tribe and stay connected. Find people that are doing things that you want to do, that have gone places that you want to go. My friend wants to go to Athens, Greece. Guess where we're going to go? We're going to Athens, Greece. He wants to see the Colosseum. you know what? I want to see the Coliseum. So I've got 3 trips planned because I'm spending my money differently. So we also talked about not just setting all of these huge goals. Some things don't need to be new goals. They just need to be goals, things that you used to do, you're doing differently. So I'm just spending my money differently. This way I want to be able to see, feel, smell, eat, taste my money, and not look up in the air and be like, what the hell did I spend $3,000 on? That trip to Mexico. That's it. We did it. We did 30 minutes. We did 30 minutes. I'm so glad that you were here with me. I'm excited to be here each and every Sunday. I will be here next Sunday at 8 p.m. And please, you can inbox me, DM me, make sure that you're following me, and let me know how you're doing. I am always open to be someone's accountability partner. If you need an accountability partner, you have written down the things that held you back, and you have set your goals, and you have started the work to find your tribe. I'm willing to be a part of your tribe. I'm so glad that you're here today. I'll see you next Sunday right here, same place, same time. I'm Erica Alston Buck. Thank you for joining me through the fire.